Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into how to stop oil leaks. Let's get started. First things first, let's talk about gaskets and seals. These small but crucial components play a vital role in the health of your engine. These guys are like the gatekeepers of your engine, keeping that oil where it belongs and preventing leaks that could cause serious damage. Over time, gaskets and seals can become brittle, cracked, or just plain worn out due to heat, pressure, and age. When that happens, oil can start to sneak out, leading to leaks that can be messy and harmful to your engine. So, your first line of defense is to give those gaskets and seals a good inspection regularly. This can help you catch potential issues before they become major problems. We're talking about the valve cover gasket, oil pan gasket, timing cover gasket, any gasket or seal that comes into contact with oil. Each one has a specific role in keeping your engine running smoothly. If you spot any damage or excessive wear, it's time for a replacement. Ignoring these signs can lead to bigger issues down the road. Now, replacing a gasket might sound intimidating, but trust me, it's totally doable, even for a beginner DIYer. With the right tools and a bit of patience, you can handle it. Before you start, make sure you have the right replacement gaskets for your car's make and model. Using the wrong gasket can cause more harm than good. Once you've got your gaskets, you'll need to remove the bolts holding the component in place. Keep track of these bolts as you remove them. With the bolts removed, carefully pry off the old gasket using a gasket scraper. Be gentle to avoid damaging the surfaces. Clean the mating surfaces on both the engine block and the component you removed. This ensures a good seal when you install the new gasket. Reinstall the component and tighten the bolts in a crisscross pattern to ensure even pressure on the gasket. This step is crucial for preventing future leaks. Alright, so we've tackled those gaskets and seals, but what if you're still seeing some drips? Our next suspect is loose connections. Your car's engine is a network of pipes and passages held together by connections like your oil drain plug, oil filter mount, and oil lines. Over time, these connections can vibrate loose. A loose connection is basically an open invitation for oil to escape. Start by locating your oil drain plug. Grab your trusty wrench and give it a check. Is it tight? If not, tighten it up, but don't go overboard. Next, move on to the oil filter mount. Make sure the filter is screwed on nice and tight. Finally, take a look at those oil lines. Inspect them for any signs of cracks, leaks, or loose clamps. Tighten any loose clamps with a screwdriver or socket. Sometimes you need to call in the reinforcements, and that's where leak stop additives come in. They work by conditioning and revitalizing those aging gaskets and seals, restoring their flexibility and helping them form a tighter seal. Just make sure you choose a high-quality leak stop additive that's specifically designed for your type of engine. Using a leak stop additive is super easy. Just pour the recommended amount into your engine oil and you're good to go. It's important to note that leak stop additives are more of a temporary fix for minor leaks. But for those small pesky leaks, a good leak stop additive can be a quick and easy solution. If you're dealing with a persistent oil leak, there's one culprit that often tops the list: the oil pan gasket. This vital gasket acts as a barrier between your engine block and the oil pan, preventing oil from seeping out. But over time, the oil pan gasket can become squashed, hardened, or cracked, leading to leaks. First, you'll need to drain the oil from your engine. Once the oil is drained, use a jack to lift your car and secure it on jack stands. With the car safely lifted, locate the oil pan. Carefully remove the bolts holding the oil pan in place and gently lower it down. Use a scraper to remove any remnants of the old gasket from both the oil pan and the engine block. Apply a thin bead of RTV sealant to the new gasket and carefully position it onto the oil pan. Another common culprit behind oil leaks is the valve cover gasket. This small but crucial component plays a significant role in maintaining your engine's health. This gasket seals the gap between the valve cover and the cylinder head, keeping oil from escaping and ensuring that the engine runs smoothly without any oil leakage. Over time, the valve cover gasket can become brittle or damaged, leading to leaks. This is often due to the constant exposure to high temperatures and the natural wear and tear of engine operation. Start by locating the valve cover on top of your engine. It's usually a prominent component, often labeled or easily identifiable. Carefully disconnect any hoses or wires that might be attached to it. Take your time to ensure you don't damage any connections. Use a socket wrench to loosen and remove the bolts holding the valve cover in place. Make sure to keep the bolts in a safe place, as you will need them for reinstallation. Gently lift the valve cover off the engine. Be cautious not to force it, as this could cause damage to the surrounding components. Use a scraper to remove the old gasket, making sure to clean the mating surfaces on both the valve cover and the cylinder head thoroughly. Any residue left behind can prevent a proper seal. Apply a thin bead of RTV sealant to the new gasket and carefully position it onto the valve cover. This will help ensure a tight seal and prevent future leaks. Reinstall the valve cover, tighten the bolts in a crisscross pattern to evenly distribute pressure, and reconnect any hoses or wires. Double-check all connections to ensure everything is secure. Now let's talk about the timing cover gasket, a crucial component in your engine's operation. This gasket seals the gap between the timing cover and the engine block, keeping oil from leaking out and ensuring the engine runs smoothly. Replacing the timing cover gasket is a bit more involved than replacing the oil pan or valve cover gaskets, but it's definitely doable with the right tools and patience. Before you begin, it's important to note that the exact steps for replacing the timing cover gasket will vary depending on your car's make and model. Always refer to your car's repair manual for specific instructions. In general, you'll need to start by disconnecting the negative battery cable to ensure safety and draining the coolant from your engine to prevent any spills. Then you'll need to remove any components that might be blocking access to the timing cover, such as belts, pulleys, or other engine parts. With the obstacles out of the way, you can begin removing the bolts holding the timing cover in place. Make sure to keep track of all the bolts and their locations. Carefully remove the old gasket, making sure to clean the mating surfaces on both the timing cover and the engine block thoroughly to ensure a good seal. Apply a thin bead of RTV sealant to the new gasket and carefully position it onto the timing cover, ensuring it is aligned properly before reassembling the engine components. If you're driving an older car with a lot of miles on the clock, you might want to consider switching to a high-mileage oil. High-mileage oils are specially formulated with additives that help to condition and revitalize those aging seals, reducing leaks and extending the life of your engine. These special oils are a bit thicker than conventional oil, which helps to fill in those tiny gaps and reduce oil consumption. They also contain seal conditioners that help to restore the flexibility of your engine's seals. Switching to a high-mileage oil is as easy as changing your oil. Just make sure you choose an oil that's specifically designed for high-mileage vehicles and that meets your car manufacturer's recommendations. Sometimes all you need is a little extra help to seal those pesky leaks, and that's where gasket sealant comes in. Gasket sealant, also known as RTV sealant, is a liquid gasket maker that forms a durable, oil-resistant seal when it cures. It's like a super strong glue that helps to fill gaps and prevent leaks. Gasket sealant can be used in a variety of applications, such as sealing valve cover gaskets, oil pan gaskets, and timing cover gaskets. When applying gasket sealant, it's important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The sealant will cure and form a durable seal, preventing leaks and keeping your engine running smoothly. Now let's talk about one of the most dreaded oil leaks, the rear main seal leak. The rear main seal is responsible for sealing the gap between the engine block and the crankshaft, preventing oil from leaking out the back of the engine. When the rear main seal fails, it can be a real pain to fix. Replacing the rear main seal typically involves removing the transmission, which is a labor-intensive job that's best left to a professional mechanic. However, if you're feeling adventurous and have a good understanding of car mechanics, you can attempt to replace the rear main seal yourself. Just be prepared for a challenging and time-consuming repair. The process typically involves disconnecting the drive shaft, removing the transmission, and then carefully prying out the old rear main seal. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, and you've learned some valuable tips for stopping oil leaks in your car. But sometimes, despite your best efforts, those leaks just won't quit. If you've tried everything and you're still losing oil, it's time to call in the professionals for assistance. A qualified mechanic has the experience, knowledge, and specialized tools to diagnose and repair even the most stubborn oil leaks. Don't hesitate to seek professional help if you're in over your head or if the leaks persist despite your efforts. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more car maintenance tips. Remember, a little preventative maintenance goes a long way in keeping your car running smoothly for years to come. See you in the next video.